Good afternoon, gang. It's about 1:30 here on Wednesday, and I know usually you see something from me around lunchtime, but I was kind of waiting for this whole story to play out because we've got the scenario with what's going on in Ukraine and everything like that. Guys, there is no doubt whatsoever that we Westerners, okay, Americans, are being kept in the dark as to what's going on. And I've said over and over and over and over again that this is a pissing match that Biden is trying to start with Putin, and Ukraine happens to be the urinal. Okay. Well, y'all know that Russia gave NATO, or basically the United States, because the U.S. runs NATO and everybody else just goes, yes, Dad, yes, Dad, a couple of weeks back. And so the U.S. delivered its response today, 45 minutes ago, thereabouts, okay, maybe an hour ago. The U.S. Ambassador John Sullivan hand-delivered Washington's response to Russia's foreign ministry at 12:22 this afternoon Eastern Time. There's reports all over the Russian media on this. It's the headline story on RT, it's the headline story on TASS, it's the headline story on the Moscow Times. So I looked on the U.S. side. MSNBC and CNN don't have a story on it at all. All they're talking about is the big headline story that Justice Stephen Breyer may retire from the Supreme Court before the election so Biden can nominate a replacement while the Democrats still have control of Congress. No talk about this whatsoever on CNN and MSNBC. Why is that important? Fox has a story on it, but they leave out what I think is the most important part. At 12:47, 25 minutes after the report was put out, the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, quotes, "The U.S. will not make its responses public." In there, the United States asked Russia not to make its responses public. There's a huge problem with this, where there is all this conversation, we're going to war is imminent, we're sending troops, we're sending weapons, we're putting troops on alert, we're doing all, and raising nine kinds of hell with the American public, saying, for all intents and purposes, get ready, we're going to war. I mean, Joe made the comment yesterday, if something happens, this could be the biggest invasion since World War II. Okay. Tell me that is not rhetoric trying to stoke the fire. Yet, when Russia is trying to diplomatically solve what Joe is creating, the U.S. response is, we're not telling you what we want to do, and we don't want you to tell the public what we want to do. Okay? Yeah, there's huge reasons for national security. Trust me, I know. Okay? Plenty of stuff like that. But in a situation like this, where the government is asking, or could be asking, you to send your sons and daughters, or you yourself, to go put yourself in harm's way, and not tell you why, that's a big problem. At 12:50, Blinken said, the U.S. set out a serious diplomatic path that Russia can choose to resolve the standoff, and told Russia that Ukraine can choose its own allies. Okay. Sure. Ukraine can choose their own allies. What are we hiding in this? What is there 10% for the big guy? Why is it so difficult for this government that promised us transparency? Remember that. That was Joe's biggest thing. I'm going to be the most transparent president in the history of the United States. Yet won't even tell us what they plan on doing for what they are telling us is the greatest crisis in the world right now. Wag the dog. Wag the dog. Okay. Keep remembering that movie, guys, because that's exactly what's going on. All right. 1259. What we do in this document is lay out areas where we believe we can advance security together. There are very positive things in this document that should be pursued, but that decision's up to Putin. Again, Anthony Blinken. If there's so many positive things, tell us about it. Maybe we'll get behind it. But you know damn well there's not. This is probably waving the white flag, going, okay, give us something. I'm personal opinion. This is all over the facts. Everything. That, again, this is 100% my opinion. This is all over the fact of Nord Stream 2. Natural gas flows through Ukraine, goes to Western Europe. Okay? Ukraine loses that revenue, if you will, the rent from the pipeline going through there, if Russia can send it directly to Germany. Okay? That's wonderful. Okay? However, the whole map of that, how the pipelines work, I can't tell you. But basically, they're trying to cut Ukraine out of this. All right. Russia wants to send the natural gas. Europe wants the natural gas. Biden doesn't like pipelines. We know that, okay? They're stuck in the Cold War. You know, it's still 1970 for the Democrats. I mean, hell, Joe probably still thinks it's 1970 on the calendar. But this is where we are. France doesn't want any sort of escalation. Germany's already said no. I told you about Croatia. Italy has come out and said they don't want no. NATO's falling apart, at least in regards to this issue. The U.S. and the U.K. are still rah, 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 let's go to war with Russia because they've got disasters politically they're trying to fix. Russia doesn't want this, like I told you last night, like Constantine told you from Russia last night. They don't want it. Ukraine doesn't want it, okay? The only one who seems to want to have any sort of conflict is good old Joe. Because Joe wants to have something on his resume other than failure number 9,642,857, okay? But when they won't tell us what's going on, that's a problem. And we have a right to know. Pinball out.